Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back to another fantasy football podcast brought to you by the FLOOG Fantasy League of Ordinary Gentlemen. Guys, welcome back to the Flug. What is up?
That was a nice, low-key intro there. I like
I'm
it.
trying.
For many of our big explosive intros. That was very nice.
Very,
I like it.
very Barry Manilow,
Sometimes being subtle gets you, where you want to be. When in Rome.
Subtle intro music too.
When in Rome. A little Yaz flute.
Love it.
Yaz flute.
Yaz flute it is. How are we, guys? How are we?
Good, man.
Good, man. Yeah.
Week.
It is the weekend before we're getting ready for 4th of July. It is coming in hot. Super excited. We have us three great guys are here. Let's go around this Zoom real quick. Two below me. You guys have been holding the fort down. I missed the pod. Was it last week? So thank you guys for doing that. Again, you guys are the consistency model in my life. Below me, the Poetica. He is appearing in his first Scott Fishbowl this year.
Hey,
super excited. So waiting for him to pick his draft spot so we can discuss.
I did.
Oh, what'd you pick?
Raccoon City, pick number 12.
You got so you got the
Resident Evil.
Yeah. So you got so with the third round reversal, so you have the.
Mm-hmm. That's why I kind of did it. I was like, I could pick two good people on the turn, and then on the next one, I get the first pick of the third.
Yeah, so you got to. We'll talk later, but you definitely. I don't know if QB is going to be the call right there because of the super flex.
It'll be interessante. That's for sure.
You got to take one. I mean, I'm saying
at least.
You gotta take one.
You already know who you need to pick. Anyways.
So
if he falls, it's Bills all day.
He's not making it to 12. He's not. He's
2 or 3.
He's not. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gary Jakowski, let's go.
What up?
Any plans for the 4th?
I don't know yet. Either I might A, go to Colonial Beach, B, possibly maybe working if I can, or C, probably not do anything. So
those are all great options.
I'm okay with all. I'm honestly okay with either one of those. So, but are we just doing the whole below me thing? Well, I would like to introduce none other than Bills Mafia's own Mr. 757, Bills Mafia, Mr. Tyson Coleman.
What's up? Yeah, I mean, life is good. I can't complain. Like you said, we got July 4th weekend coming up. Going to Langley Raceway, where they have kind of like, small time, like, they got trucks there. They got, regular stock cars there. And I say this like I know something. I haven't been there in about 25 years. I ain't gonna lie, but that's the impression. That's the impression I get. Yeah, I'm faking it until I make it. So yeah, no, that'll be exciting. I mean, I'm not much of a race fan, but it's one of my buddy's friends, and I'm not gonna lie, it's free. It's a free ticket. But like I said, I used to go when I was younger, so that's kind of exciting. And then probably going to Norfolk Tides game Sunday, and it's really about it. But yeah, I was saying that.
Hey, dude, I gotta break this news. So, who's that new Twitter follower of yours?
John Cena.
What? There's no way.
John, I had to take a double take. I did a double take on it. For those that don't know, John Cena is I guess he's still a part-time professional wrestler, as the old times would say. And he is a current movie star. And these two obviously know how much of a fan I've always been. If the I don't think I had the chains in the car. Basically, he had like a big old medallion that said "Chain Gang Soldier," so that was like 2007. So I've had that for 15 years. It probably needs to be cleaned maybe once or twice.
Well, I'm a little jealous, man. You got all Bills Mafia and then John Cena. That's a hell of a follow right there.
Like I said, and for those also that don't know, he usually puts on like, like inspirational quotes, like, some like, hey, it doesn't take much to be kind, or what was it today? Today was like moving forward isn't always like move, like basically you can move forward, but you also can stay neutral and realize that if you have a setback, you can access it and then move on. It's just certain quotes. So I liked it. I retweeted it, and all of a sudden I get a follow back against John Cena. I'm like, there's no freaking way. And I look on it, and sure enough, blue check mark, and of course I'm gonna follow back. I mean, why not?
John Cena followed you before you followed him.
Yeah, and like somebody was like, well, that was pretty cool that he took the time to do it. And then, like I said, I was all excited, got to work, and a couple people were like, oh yeah, that's real nice.
I gotta say, I love the ego, man. I mean, you're like, I ain't following this guy until he follows me, and lo and behold, that's exactly how it went down.
Exactly. So,
what's everybody drinking tonight?
I have from Final Gravity, one of my favorite breweries. It is called Ill Technique, hazy double IPA, 8% ABV. The hops, they have Citra, and is it Yario? Is that how you pronounce it, with a J? Anyways, it's great. What about you boys?
I have the Josh Cabernet I'm finishing up after dinner.
Attaboy.
And a little bit of water, and then some coffee to wash it down, keep me going.
You got a full palate.
That's a hell of a palate. Right?
Yeah, I just had some water, and I put some like pink lemonade. Lemonade.
Attaboy.
I won't use that word. We'll just say pink lemonade. Well,
the model of health that we should be, Ty.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure to hit us. Make sure John Cena follows Ty. Guys, make sure everybody else follows Ty on Twitter at Social Media Ghost.
That's so awesome.
And you can see him. You can see him. You can follow Gary on Twitter at Gars_Poetica. You can follow me on Twitter at JHicks804. You can follow us collectively on Twitter at TheFlug_FF. Check us out on our website, www.theflug.com. My initial redraft rankings should be posted very soon. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Tomorrow. And then the podcast, we're on Spotify, iTunes, and Podbean. Very frustratedly. Inside joke about the Podbean to be discussed later. So this is great. We're podding. It's almost 4th of July. 3-day weekend, if not longer, for everybody. I'm hoping. Cold beer. We are.
Hey, I just want to say, John Cena, you better be fucking listening to following all of us, man. I'm gonna come hawk it up in front of you, bro.
If we could get him to retweet the next pod.
Oh my god,
that would be amazing.
That'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
He's like a Patriots fan or something like that. No. So that's the only downfall to that. But
he deserves a 5-knuckle shuffle for that.
Damn right, attitude adjustment. Sorry, John.
No, it's all good. I'm sure Mr. Cena will not be upset. So tonight's pod, we're it's a little downtime. We're knocking out our divisions as usual, getting halfway there after tonight. We got Scott Fishbowl coming up. Super stoked. Hopefully Ty can still get his invite. But yeah, me and Gary are representing. Ty, like we said, Gary's got the 12 spot. I can't wait to talk about it with him. I've got the 9er.
9.
In the Richmond, representing Richmond. That's where we are, people. If you didn't know. And this is it, guys. Let's rock. We our next division is the AFC West.
Huge.
I'm very fond. Yep. Anything that I missed? Anything we need to jump on before we get into it? I'll take it as mum's the word. Let's go. Let's start. Let's do this. Let's start with the Chiefs. I am biased. We'll just go ahead and get that out of the way. Talking to the guys. I mean, we don't need to. We can say this and tell me if you guys disagree, because then we'll talk about it. Mahomes is a top 5 fantasy quarterback, redraft in dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey's a top 5 tight end, redraft in dynasty.
Yep.
Any objections there? We good. Forever hold your peace.
No.
Okay. All right. Cool. Very good, guys. The biggest thing the obvious elephant in the room when it comes to the Chiefs is the whole wide receiver change. With Tyreek Hill gone, with Byron Pringle gone, with Demarcus Robinson gone, there are an available 260 targets based off last year. And last year was Mahomes. Was it his worst? I mean, I don't know. It was a down year, which, if you want to call over 4,800 passing yards a down year, but he had 13 interceptions, a couple of them, yeah.
Well, passing yards, he was still 4th among all QBs last season.
Yeah.
Yep.
Second in passing attempts. I mean, this whole offense was overall number 3. So I'm wondering if it will dwindle down at all without the likes of somebody like Tyreek Hill and his explosiveness.
Yeah.
So
we got not the only starting wide receiver, but the only recognizable wide receiver name. We have Josh Gordon, but you got Mecole. Mecole is still there. Mecole had 83 targets, 693 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was in on some gadget plays, like some rushing plays and stuff too. So he's definitely getting the role of a gadget, in my opinion. And I don't think it's going to change this year. Tyreek, with Byron Pringle, with Demarcus Robinson gone, you're now you got Juju Smith-Schuster coming in on a 1 year. You've got MVS, Marcus Valdez-Scantling, signed a 3-year contract. And in the second round, wide receiver Sky Moore.
Mm-hmm.
So we could just, we could take the easy route and say that the 260 targets are split 3 ways, but that's not fun, is it?
Well, this is like the opportunity for Mecole Hardman to like really step up and this is a huge opportunity for him. Like, I mean, because this is his 4th year. So, I mean, this is definitely a contract year too. So, I mean, that's something we obviously know that Juju's going to be playing more slot receiver, and he can play a little bit outside, and he's the big, well-known name for this wide receiver crew. But Mecole Hardman's got rapport. It's just a matter of him taking that next step above, and hopefully instead of just 83 targets, we're looking at somebody who gets 110, maybe 120 type targets.
Yeah. Yeah. You basically said what I was going to say. Yeah. He already knows his offense. He's got to step ahead of MVS. He's got to step ahead of Sky Moore. He's got to step ahead of Juju by knowing this offense. So that gives him an advantage, even though on paper, maybe those 2 guys are maybe more, what's the word I want to use? Revered, I guess, or respected. But if you know the offense, I mean, that's a big deal. That's a big deal for him. Now, if he was coming in like those guys, I might say he might be a step behind, but he's a couple steps ahead of them, at least for now. We'll see what training camp looks like.
I like that, Ty. I like that. I kind of want to disagree. I don't see Mecole breaking 100 targets. Even if he does step up his game, it's the mouth to feed. I mean, Kelsey's at 130 targets.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, when Mahomes was sometimes like in a bind, like he had 2 options: Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else is going to have to step up, because Juju, as of last year, I mean, he wasn't really as much past couple of years as it is. I mean, can Sky Moore develop to somebody, especially with him being in his rookie year? I mean, there's a few questions as to who can step up for this team. But I mean, Obviously, this could bring Kelsey to be the top tight end in the league for sure. But one of these guys has to step up. It won't matter is who. And to me, that's going to be at least the one who's going to be targeted the most. That's all I care about. But like I said, that's the question mark. Who will be targeted the most?
Yeah, Tyreek was definitely the fuck it, he's up there somewhere guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think MVS right now is the logical name to go there because he's always been that kind of like deep ball kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know about the intermediate because Tyreek was definitely he could just
he could do it all.
Yeah, he could do it all.
Yeah.
So I think that's where Juju and Sky Moore step in. So I don't.
Yeah, because I think they're.
Go ahead,
I was just gonna say I think their route run's a little bit better than MVS. To me, MVS kind of just seems very lanky or very tall. Doesn't have the route running skills that like Sky Moore has on film, or what Juju can be. Like you said, Juju out of the slider, Juju out of the outside.
Mm-hmm.
I just think MVS to me is maybe is an upgrade version of Demarcus Robinson, but he kind of reminds me of Demarcus Robinson, honestly.
Yeah,
I I get why they got him, but I'm not like, and he's. I mean, let's be honest. MVS is going from Aaron Rodgers to Patrick Mahomes. There's not much of a drop off, or if there is a drop off, at least with Juju, he's going from Big Ben to Patrick Mahomes. That's a huge upgrade, in my opinion. So MVS to me, I think he got 55 targets last year. I mean, I could see between 50 and 60. He just doesn't seem like the guy to me, in my opinion.
I'm with you. I think a little bit more. I'm thinking 80-ish, but I could see the 50, 60. I'm with you. Yeah. I think Juju. Yep. I think Juju flirts with 100, and I think Sky Moore is. I don't know if he gets 100.
I don't think. Yeah.
I also, Clyde only played 10 games last year, so I think he'll be more of a factor. He had 23 targets last year. I could see him flirting with 50. In a full season, I see him flirt with 50. And I mean, I don't think that's a stretch, but you guys tell me if I'm wrong.
I'll say at least 35 because you're looking at 2.3 targets per game. You do 17. Okay, so I said 35. Okay, I'll go 40. 40 to 50.
Yeah. Okay. Cars, anything you want to add in there?
When it comes to Clyde Edwards, I mean, like kind of Ty said, I mean, anywhere between 40 to 45 probably. It's just, I mean, with Rojo there too, I know this is something we want to have a small comparison in. He brings a little bit of explosiveness, power a little bit, and whatnot. So I don't know. With Rojo there now, does that dwindle, the value of Clyde Edwards-Helaire to you guys? Does he fall backwards in most redraft? Is he not much of a guy like a commodity to look at when it comes to dynasty? Because I mean, when he first came to the league, we all thought Clyde Edwards-Helaire was going to be the number one running back, probably because of Andy Reid and what he is capable of bringing to most running backs. Because what I was looking at, I mean, this is regardless of their pass catching ability, like rushing attempts. I mean, Kansas City was 20th. And I mean, without Tyreek Hill, who's to say that they move backwards a little bit in rushing because they're going to have to rely on the pass a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they're still a fast first team. But go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when they drafted him, and, Hicks, you can tell me if I'm wrong, they were hoping to get maybe like a Priest Holmes. In my opinion, I mean that's or Larry Johnson, but I don't know. He kind of reminds me more of Priest Holmes in a way. I was a fan of Larry Johnson, but just something about Priest Holmes, the way he kind of glide. That 1 year, I forget the year that he had, but he had 20 touchdowns or more. He just kind of reminded me more of a Priest Holmes. But I mean, I think if I'm down to the goal line, I think I'd go Ronald Jones over Clyde Edwards-Helaire, in my opinion. I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure, but Ronald Jones just seems like Gary's point, seems more of a power back than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think, is more of a pass catching back than Ronald Jones. I saw some passes to Ronald Jones where he was about 5 yards on the side of Tom Brady and he dropped it.
Yeah.
So his pass catching skills, meh.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
But if I'm going goal line, I would not want to be a Clyde Edwards-Helaire owner because I think Rojo will sneak in a couple of touchdowns from the red zone.
I'm with you, and let me throw this because I didn't mention it. So, and again, we're transitioning to the Rojo versus Clyde. So let's look at Darrell Williams' numbers from last year because now he's in Arizona. And I guess to kind of pat my ass, he had 57 targets last year. So if Clyde absorbs half of that, we're looking at 50 easy. So yeah, and Clyde missed 7 games last year and only played 10 games. Darrell Williams, he had 144 carries. And like I said, the 57 targets. So, I mean, Rojo's looking at, he's looking at 120 attempts, rushing attempts. Easy.
Well, he had 101 last year. So now it's 16 games. So I don't disagree with that. I say 115, 120.
I mean, don't overlook Jerick McKinnon either because he had, it was the playoffs, but he had quite a decent spurt last season when he got his opportunity too.
I'm with you. And yet you also had Derek Gore last year.
He's a better pass catcher than everybody on that backfield, probably.
There you go. Yeah.
I actually like Derek Gore. It's a shame that it's a shame he's probably not going to get a lot of opportunities, but I actually like Derek Gore a lot.
I mean, he's probably the number 4. Yeah, Gary made a good call. If you just like it was playoff Lenny 2 years ago. If you ride the hot hand coming off the end of last season, you got Jerick McKinnon, who could he could have sleeper value, guys. If you need if a late running back that you want to snatch up, I think McKinnon could be the guy. I think Rojo could have sleeper value too. I mean, a 12-team league. I mean, when are people going to start flirting with that? Maybe like the 8th round off the top of my head. I don't know.
McKinnon at 30. I think is he 29 or 30 years old?
Let's find out.
I think he's either 29 or 30, but I'll just say I think he's the best athlete among those
30.
He's 30. I think he's the best athlete among all those running backs. I really do.
I like that.
I've always been a Jerick McKinnon fan, but another guy that just doesn't get opportunities. But man, last year, especially against my Bills, he stepped up for them.
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys. Anything else we want to talk about on the Chiefs? I think we kind of. Well, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, not because they knocked out my Bills, but I got to give them credit. Fifth best O-line. Gary and I started doing like O-line rankings.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. They had the 5th best O-line according to PFF.
Nice.
And in your boy Creed Humphrey, if I'm not mistaken, a 91.4 PFF.
Mm-hmm.
It was better than all the guys on the Bucs who were higher than him. It was better than all the guys on the Eagles better than him. And it was only a couple people like Zach Martin that had a better one. So Creed Humphrey was what a pick. Was 2nd round?
Yeah.
2nd round? What a pick. So yeah, 5th best O-line, and they had Joe Tunney and Orlando Brown.
He might have been a 3rd.
What's that?
He might have been a 3rd round pick.
Either way.
In the second, they took Nick Bolton. In the last year, and they took Nick Bolton. Did they have 2 seconds? I know they took Nick Bolton in the second. They had 2 seconds. They might have been more. He might have been the second. Yeah, you're right. They took Nick Bolton, and then they took him in the second. Took Creed.
Well, Nick Bolton's another good. I think Nick Bolton's a good player. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people aren't a big fan of Nick Bolton. I'm a big fan of Nick Bolton. I think he's going to be good.
He won that. We had that shit game at the end of the year versus the Broncos, and He won. He pretty much won us that game because he caused that fumble and returned it too.
But yeah, they're still going to have a really good offensive line. But yeah, that's all I got.
And I think you need to factor that in too when you talk about Juju, because you go from, I mean, he had that great year with AB and Ben, but now, I mean, the last couple of years, I mean, well, obviously we know Ben sputtered out, and that O line has been bottom
atrocious.
Okay, there, you said it for me. Thank you. So yeah, better O line, a better quarterback. And again, like you said with MVS, like how much is that going to change when you go from Mahomes to Roger? You're going with a top tier quarterback. Like it's not the quarterback that's the problem.
Nope.
So
it's probably you. Yeah. So.
All right, cool guys. Let's. Anything else? I mean, I could talk, keep going, but NT ways. Are we good, guys?
Yeah, October 16th. I can't wait. 4:00. Anyways, next.
Oh, is it in KC? Is it in Buffalo?
No, it's in KC, like it always is.
Is it? No, we played. I thought the regular season game was in Buffalo last year.
No,
the regular season game.
No, because I went. Remember the KC?
Oh shit! Yeah, you did. I can't keep up with you. I'm going to my first big event in November, and I am so excited. Side note, we got tickets to Billy Strings.
Hell yeah!
So it's it's in. Well, yeah, I'll talk about it later. We have a nice little crew of people going.
Oh yeah.
So, NT ways, listen to Billy Strings if you haven't, people. He's amazing. Let's go to the Raiders. So, the biggest elephant in the room I think we need to talk about is Devontae Adams, right? He paid big, they paid big money, which, I mean, he deserves it. He's a great wide receiver. He wanted to go, like, the Packers, I think, offered him more money, if not the same. And he was pretty much like, I've always wanted to be a Raider. So the man is following his dream, and you can't knock him for it, right?
Mm-hmm. And his college teammates and his college quarterback happens to be the quarterback for the Raiders.
Yeah,
it's a perfect marriage, as they would say, on paper. Yeah.
Could be an older version of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase here.
Ooh,
good one.
That's such a great combination too. They're so good together. I hate it.
Like lamb and tuna fish.
Lamb and tuna. Exactly. So guys, let's look at the Raider target share from last year, just to break it down real quick. We got Hunter Renfrow, 128 targets, went for 1,000 yards. You got Darren Waller, 93 yards. Let's talk about Darren Waller real quick so we can nip this in the butt. I have him as a top 5 tight end. Does any of you guys have him not in the top 5?
Oh no, he's top 5 for sure still.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, issue address, check mark. Let's go. We got Brian Edwards, but he got traded, right?
To Atlanta.
Yep. We got Zay Jones signed with Jacksonville.
Yep.
Ruggs he's not on the team. We'll just leave it at that. So in Deshaun Jackson, he had 20 targets last year, so count that as what you asked. So we're looking at Brian Edwards, 120, about 140-ish targets. Willie Snead was on the Raiders last year. Wow. Okay. Yeah, here we go. So we're looking at like 140 targets. And didn't Devontae Adams have more than that last year?
169.
Okay, yeah. So suck that up like a sponge. So here we go. And Waller had 93 targets in 11 games. Good night.
Mm-hmm.
If he played the full season, what's that put him on track for? Like, God, Jesus, jumped up.
You said 93 targets, 11 games?
Yeah. Somebody do math for me.
That's 130, 136, 140.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could have had like 50 to 60 more targets.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah. But you got Devontae, Hunter, and Darren Waller. Wow.
Yeah, dude. Something's got to change, boys. I mean, Hunter Renfrow, he's going to be, I don't know, short straw. Him getting 100, him getting 128 targets is going to be,
that's going to be tough.
I think he drops down below 100. Easy, right?
Yes. Devontae gets 150 plus easily, and 150 is probably being disrespectful. But
yeah.
And he missed a game. He got 169 targets and he missed a game.
Holy shit, boss. That's nuts.
He's looking pretty smooth right now, too. I mean, even the offense last year was 11th. So you're looking at passing yards. Derek Carr threw actually 4,800 passing yards. So, I mean, that's pretty damn good. I mean, I think he can eclipse 5,000 this year.
That's right there with Mahomes.
Set a career high.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, listen to this. 4th in completions, 5th in attempts, 5th in complete percentage, 5th in passing yards, 6th in yards per game. Like, I mean, that was without Devontae Adams. That was without Darren Waller for 6 games.
That's pretty stout, guys.
Yeah, and I won't say a word I was going to use, but he gets crapped on a lot. He gets crapped on a lot because, I mean, like only 23 touchdowns. That's not sexy when it comes to like fantasy football. I think he was, what was it, 13th in touchdown passes. Like Carson Wentz had more touchdown passes.
Wow.
But I mean, he had that with Renfro and Bryan Edwards and Zay Jones.
Mm-hmm.
With a healthy Darren Waller and a Devontae Adams. Oof.
Josh Jacobs, he was mediocre in the passing game. He caught 54 of 64. So that's pretty good. That's pretty dependent. And especially when you have Kenyon Drake, who, I mean, everybody's more seeing him more as like a receiving running back, So he caught 30 of 40. So that's 100 targets to the running backs right there.
Yeah.
So right now in my rankings, I have Carr at 13. I've got Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts above him, Russell Wilson above him. Right below him, I got Cousins, Tua, Trey Lance. So I don't know what I mean.
I like in the top 13 or 14. I'm good with that.
So I don't have him as a QB1, which I guess with those numbers, not with the touchdowns, with the yards, it's there. But he's not really that much of like, you got Russell Wilson who averages 4 to 5 rushing touchdowns. You got Jalen Hurts who had how many, Gary? 10?
Something like that.
And you got Dak usually gets a handful. You got Kyler who gets 5, 6 easy. You got Lamar Jackson,
But you also got to remember, like, if they're like 1st and goal from the 1 or 1st and goal, they're 1st and goal. They're going to try to run it.
Yeah,
they're going to try to use Jacobs' power. So that's where he kind of loses on touchdowns is when they're in goal line situation.
Yeah,
because I mean Josh Jacobs for only averaging like 4 yards per carry, he did have 9 touchdown runs.
Yeah,
I mean, and they were probably all from like the 1 yard line.
So, all right, we guys kind of mentioned Josh Jacobs a couple of times. Where are you guys at on him? Are you guys worried about Zamir White they drafted, which I know a couple of us are pretty big on him. What are you guys thinking about him? I guess both of them in tandem, essentially.
Well, I mean, you see that it's Josh McDaniels who pretty much came from that Patriots backfield.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be as ridiculous as that, but I still see Jacobs being able, because he has pass catching ability. I mean, I know when we talked about, oh man, what's his name? Who's the lead back? Damian Harris. Like in New York or in New England, like he'd had a little over 200 touches or rushing attempts. So I think I see just Josh Jacobs like that. You still have Kenyon Drake. I mean, I think with Zamir White, they'll probably just ease him in,
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, just to give the other backs a breather, and you know that Josh Jacobs, he's not getting a contract extension as far as we know. So I mean, this could be the Kenyon Drake and Zamir White show next season. You know. Plus, not to mention they brought Brandon Bolton over, who used to be with New England.
Is good for one fantasy week of blowing up every year.
But are we going to see that same BS that we saw in New England?
The same BS from BB?
Plus, if you put it this way, too, they were 26 in rushing attempts last season.
The 26, that's crazy, with Josh Jacobs going over 200 rushing attempts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to think, this team started with Gruden, and then all that shit happened, and they had the interim coach come in, and the guy did a great job. He got him to the playoffs.
I thought they should have hired him. I'll be honest with you. Josh McDaniels.
The guy McDaniels. They want the name. They want the flashy name. It's Vegas, you know. But I mean, yeah, that guy had the team. You know, if you take that team from what happened and you rally them guys, get them in the playoffs, that guy deserves a whole lot.
Yep.
And I'm saying that as a Chiefs fan.
Well, speaking of that, it's funny, going back to O-line rankings, we talked about, so just spoiler alert, the Chiefs had the best O-line in this division. The Raiders had the worst O-line in this division. Sorry, Jared, our buddy Jared, but they were 28th out of 32 in O-line rankings. Their best player had a PFF ranking of 84.2, Colton Miller. Their very next guy had a PFF ranking of 64.2.
Damn.
And that was a center. So that says that the rest of their line was terrible. So
if you get into Scott Fishbowl, you have to go to Buffalo for the draft. They're having a live draft in Buffalo. Thurman Thomas is going to be there.
What day? What day was it?
Don't you tell Ty about a good time. He'll be there.
Hell yeah.
Thursday the 14th.
It would be on a Thursday.
God. Trust me, you'll make it happen. Knowing you.
I know you did mention Thurman Thomas. I got vacation.
I got vacation. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the pod.
No, that's all good.
But that's a great way to interrupt. We need a Bills reference.
I'm trying my best.
That's so. But I think that's the only thing that stops the Raiders. Is I think their O-line is the only question I have.
Mm-hmm.
You, like I said, you got the 28th ranked offensive line. Derek Carr got sacked 40 times, 5th among all teams, or 5th among all quarterbacks.
Well, I sometimes see Josh McDaniels as a hothead. He'll make sure that their cohesiveness is legit, because you have just about every position fairly stacked on offense. So all it is, like you said, Ty, is that just that offensive line, which I think will definitely upgrade a little bit. Sometimes there's some growing pains through most offensive lines, but I'm sure that's something that Josh McDaniels will make sure of with this team. So,
all right. So just going off, these are my rankings I put together. I got Josh Jacobs at 23. Or is it 22? 22, I'm sorry, because it's
wow.
So here's who I have above him. So let me spit off the top the 5 I have above him, and you guys can bash me. I got ETN above him, David Montgomery, J.K. Dobbins, Antonio Gibson, Javonte Williams.
That's legit, dude. I see Josh Jacobs somewhere in the early to mid 20s.
Right below him, I got Elijah Mitchell, Damian Harris, Clyde, Breece Hall, Miles Sanders. So he's he's an RB2. I have him as an RB2. I don't think. If he's your RB1, are you guys excited?
No.
Okay.
No.
He's RB2 territory now.
And he's better than an RB3. So
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And maybe I have him above David Montgomery just because I feel like the Raiders are a playoff team? Question mark. And the Bears are not a playoff team. So game script wise, the Bears might be throwing a lot more. You got, Justin Fields maybe stealing some rushing touchdowns. So that's the only thing off the top of my head.
That's tough, yeah, because I like David Montgomery, the player, better. But, yeah, the Bears' offense is just absolute dumpster fire. Sorry, whoever's a Bears fan.
All right, let's keep on trucking. Are we good on the Raiders? Anything we're missing? I think are we all locked in on Devontae Adams, 150 targets, and everybody else just gets the scraps?
Yeah, I still consider him a top 5.
I mean, what tell me this? I mean, could this knock Waller out of? He could not be a top 5 tight end if he's Devontae's taking some of these targets.
I mean, look at Tyreek Hill and look at Travis Kelce together.
Yeah, and then Hunter Renfrow is getting the scraps.
Okay. Yeah, if Hunter Renfrow can get 128 targets, I mean, yeah, Darren Waller can get 100 plus. I mean, he would have if he had played 17 games.
Yeah,
and I'll just say Devontae Adams. There's only one other receiver better than him in the league, in my opinion, and we talked about him last week.
Jamar Chase.
Negative, Ghost Rider. Cooper Kupp.
All right. He's your RB. He's your wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Let's jump to LA. And let's go Chargers. Go Chargers, go. So let's knock this out. Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback. Any rebuttals?
No rebuttals.
Again, 5,000 yards, more yards than Mahomes and Carr passing. 38 touchdowns. And that's more than both of them. So let's start with the wide receivers, probably the hotter topic. So we got Mike Williams. He had more yards. He had more touchdowns. He had 20 less targets, 20-some less targets. Keenan Allen had 157 to Mike Williams 129. So forgive my math, but here we are. But they both missed one game each. You got Jared Cook is gone. He frees up 83 targets. You guys got one of my favorite tight ends coming in, Gerald Everett, who will be a tight end 1 this year. He will be a top 12 tight end. You heard it here on the podcast first, on the Fluke first.
Wow.
He will be a top 12 tight end. Will he get 83 targets? I don't know. Will he get 60 targets and have 8 touchdowns? Yes.
Well, yeah. If you're going to say he has 60 targets, then he's going to have a huge touchdown upside to the top 12.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
He will. I've always been. He's my guy. So, all right, Keenan Allen, 157 targets, guys. Mike Williams, 129 targets. I'm going to leave this to you guys to fight it out. What were you guys at? Does this change? Does it stay the same? Tell me why.
Stays the same because there's nobody else to really challenge them, in my opinion. This wide receiver is going to be the same. It's going to be Keenan Allen and Mike Williams as the top 2 dogs, and then Jalen Guyton and Joshua Palmer fighting for number 3. It'll probably be Joshua Palmer because he got drafted. Jalen Guyton didn't, and they had similar numbers. So, yes, nothing changes.
Dude, watch out for DeAndre Carter, though. I think he'd be a good dark horse, especially with how good he was with the Washington football team before they were the Commanders. He was he had some legit games last season, and I think he's somebody that Justin Herbert can, rely on as a third wide receiver. But I mean, who's to say too? I mean, we do just know Mike Williams and Keenan Allen do get hurt. So any of these other three guys, and Josh Palmer, DeAndre Carter, Jalen Guyton, can all step up. What I kind of wanted to go through real quick is that they were fourth in offense, second in passing yards with Justin Herbert, third in attempts. But I think with this defense and all the addition they have, that rushing upside can come back up because they were 21st in rushing yards. So, I mean, it's 22nd in attempts, but they were still second in the red zone. So their passing definitely gave this offense a huge boost. But who's to say that this rushing attempts couldn't get into the mid part of the league, like in 15th or 16th in rushing attempts? Because, I mean, you see how that defense and the additions that they got, that they won't ever have to really play from behind much at all. So where, I mean, Brandon Staley, a second season with the team as head coach, he might make a little bit more better decisions than he was as a rookie head coach. So, I mean, I think you could rely on the run pretty well too, especially with that defense, looking pretty stout.
And Isaiah Spiller was a second round pick, right?
Yep.
So, yeah.
Joshua Kelly, Larry Roundtree haven't really been much of anything, and Justin Jackson is gone. So,
yeah, they didn't draft Isaiah Spiller in the second round not to make some kind of impact. Even though Austin Eckler's numbers were a lot better than I thought they were. I did not know that he had 20 touchdowns and over 1,500 yards.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing in most fantasy rookie drafts too. Isaiah Spiller was like back at a second round, a little bit after the NFL draft, and he boosted all the way up to late first or early. Yeah, late first. That was a huge jump he had.
But now you might be right. Like you said, they didn't draft him not to make an impact. And yeah, their defense looks scary on paper with the addition. So yeah, they might run the ball a lot more than they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you guys. That team's from not a fantasy at an NFL standpoint. This team is pretty damn solid.
This whole division is stacked.
Did you guys?
Insane.
Yes.
Eckler 94 targets last year, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that changing.
That's nuts.
No,
he missed one game. I don't see that changing.
He's a good route runner.
With the healthy season. Yeah.
He's a good route runner. I mean, can run the screens, can run traditional routes. Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that being a drop off. Yeah, he was number 3 most target out of all. Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that changing.
Dude, he's a human Ninja Turtle. Ain't you see how shredded he is? He's like fucking. Oh, he's so shredded he could kick Shredder's ass.
Oh,
boom!
We did that.
We did a lot of that.
Side. We got
played some old school Ninja Turtles on PlayStation.
Turtles in Time.
No, remember the arcade game? Turtles. Yeah, they made a. I guess you would call it a sequel.
Was it the Shredder or something?
Oh shit!
Shredder's Revenge.
So Super Shredder.
Well, I guess he's a Super Shredder in the end of it, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, Jack knew all these guys, like all
the bosses,
maggot bosses that we have no idea.
Was Big Daddy Cool Diesel in it? Kevin Nash.
It was all animated. So so everybody, if you don't know I'm sure we all put our quarters in the arcade machine back in the day. The original Turtles arcade game. Well, they made a sequel if you haven't seen it, and if you have a console, it's like $25. It's a great buy. You can do 6 people online. So you have the Turtles, you have Splinter, you have April to start. So we squatted up. We did 4 of us and we squatted up. It was a great time. It was really fun.
Let's kick shell.
Yeah. But yeah, it has a lot of the old school throwbacks in it.
Mhm.
So I remember I think I remember like half of the like villain characters.
Yeah, if you're hearing that.
So
That's a good plug.
good plug, good
Yeah.
plug, good game, goodbye.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything we kind of breached the Chargers. Anything else you guys want? Okay? Yeah, let's talk about Eckler's. That like where you guys drafted Eckler. I have him. I got him at number 6, and now I see those 94 targets. I think he should be a little higher. So I got JT's my 1, Derrick Henry's my, and this is redraft. I got Najee Harris 3, Mixon 4, McCaffrey 5, Eckler 6.
Call me crazy, and maybe it's just an injury thing. I'd have him above McCaffrey. I know that's crazy talk, but McCaffrey keeps getting hurt.
I'm with you.
Talent is there. The more talent, but it's like the old adage: availability is the best ability.
I kind of want to put him at 3 now that we reviewed.
He was third. He was third in scrimmage yards behind Najee and Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I think I would probably put him ahead of Najee for sure. I mean, I'd probably have him neck and neck with Joe Mixon at 3.
Yeah.
And he was tied with Jonathan Taylor with 20 touchdowns. I mean, I'd still take Jonathan Taylor, obviously, but
yeah,
you can make it. You can make the argument, like Gary said.
Yeah, it's just McCaffrey's such a question mark. So we'll get to that when we knock that division out. So there we. I don't. Yeah, I'm glad we reviewed. So maybe my rankings will become our consensus rankings if we if we have a powwow.
And 10th among all linemen, Rashawn Slater. They drafted in the first round last year. They needed to protect Justin Herbert. He had a PFF rating of 81, which isn't bad. Or I'm sorry, 83, which isn't bad for a rookie. So they got the line. They got the line, and they're basically just reloading.
Didn't they do O-line in the first round this year?
They went Zion Johnson, guard out of
BC,
Boston College. Yeah. So yeah, so basically they're just reloading.
It's like they don't need to do a flashy pick because they got everything covered.
So Zion Johnson, yeah. Basically, what I was going to say. Great pick.
Done with the Chargers.
Yep.
Are we going to bolt out?
Well played.
Let's should be some hot topics here. The last team we're going to talk about obviously is the last team in the AFC West. It's the Denver Broncos. A lot happened. We've discussed this already. Russell Wilson is now a Bronco. Breaking news. Not so. It's a whole culture change there. They have a new coach too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fangio got fired.
Yeah,
Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, let's hope he can hack it out. So this is one of those ones we go and look at last year, and it's kind of hard to take the stats and use it as a bias because it's a whole new team, it's a whole new mindset. You had Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock throwing the ball. You had that guy, was it Kendall Hinton? Didn't he play?
God bless him.
He played the one game because everybody caught COVID. And that was, wasn't it like the worst starting like quarterback start ever or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was like one for 50 maybe.
He didn't throw an interception. They never ran the ball. He had one completion for one attempt for 100. Yeah, for 1 yard.
Oh.
What the shit? Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of hard to go off last year's numbers, but where are you guys at on Russell? Russell kind of had a down year. He had that finger injury, and I think he came. I think he came back early from the injury. He should have stayed out longer because when he came back, he wasn't. He won't hit no much because I had him last year in Scott Fishbowl, and he came back, and when he came back, he got me negative points one week because he did so shitty.
Yeah, but you got to remember, I mean, he still had 25 touchdowns and 6 INTs, and he's going from an offensive line that gave up 46 sacks to an offensive line that only gave up 28. I mean, shit, Seattle's first 2 picks, I believe, were offensive tackles, if that tells you something. And minus DK and Tyler Lockett, there's nothing else with wide receivers. At least with Denver, I mean, the potential is there. You got Cortland Sutton, you got Judy, you got Tim Patrick, you got KJ Hamler. Like, all 4 of these guys could be absolute studs if they were able to stay on the field and if they had a quarterback. Now they got the quarterback. So, I mean, Russell's in a better situation, and so are the receivers than they were last year.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
I mean, there's a good chance that Nathaniel Hackett's just going to like the whole moniker was last season, like let Russ cook.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were just talking about the Chargers
and
how Brandon Staley's first year, like he had Justin Herbert, in second and third in passing attempts. So, I mean, this is something where he's going to just rely on Russell Wilson and his veteran status and just like, let him do what he does best.
And Nathaniel Hackett's going from Aaron Rodgers to Russell Wilson. I mean, 2 elite quarterbacks on their A games. They're 2 of the best maybe ever.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not like Nathaniel Hackett's going from, Aaron Rodgers to, God bless him, Mitch Trubisky, because he was a Bill last year. So, I mean, I think this is a win-win for all parties on paper.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yes, I'm going back to my rankings. I got Russell as QB 10 right now. So
I think it's a fair spot to put him.
For argument's sake, he's back to being a QB 1.
Mm-hmm.
I got him. I got Dak, Matt Stafford, and Rodgers above him right now.
Yeah, because what was it in 14 games? He only had 400 passing attempts.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't shit.
Mm-hmm. No.
So, I think that's easy. I think let's jump to the wide receivers. I think I don't know. I think that's probably the one that people are taking the deeper dive into, and my opinion is Judy, and Cortland Sutton. Do you guys, before we jump into it, do you guys have one that you prefer over the other?
That's hard. I mean, I don't. I want to say maybe I'd probably just, if I had to choose, I'd probably go Cortland Sutton. But the only reason is because Jerry Jeudy, as great as his route running is, sometimes it takes time for him to finish his route. That's the only thing that I can see. I mean, that's the only thing I really have on that. I mean, you have great backups and depth, and Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler. I mean, I want to see if Seth Williams can be a thing, or like Travis Fulgham, because I mean, shit, going back to the Eagles plug, like
ODU.
Yeah, like I mean, Fulgham he's got some upside too,
I mean, I wanted to be. I'm sorry, Gary.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying I wanted to be Judy. Because I mean, if you're the Bronco, I mean he's 23, son's gonna be 27. Now Judy, his complete or his not complete percentage, but his catch the target catch was better, 67.9 compared to Cortland's 59.2. But then again, this goes back to also Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock, but does Russell Wilson finally unlock Jerry Jeudy and what they drafted 2 years ago?
Right. Like,
Yeah.
and two, I mean, just Cortland Sutton can have like small strides of DK Metcalf, maybe not the speed and whatnot, but like, the size is definitely a capability for him, in any kind of contested catches. Whereas Jeudy, he's capable of getting open. And I mean, we do see Russ, which is why I really think KJ Hamler can have a really good season, especially if he wants to be that Tyler Lockett-esque that Russell Wilson once had. So, I mean, it can be just about anyone. But I mean, who's to say he can't make two like top 20 wide receivers at all? With KJ Hamler being like, decent wide receiver 3 play. So I don't know, but the battle between Sutton and Jeudy, I think for right now, I'm going to just have to go Sutton because he was on a huge kick. What was it, a couple of years ago before he got injured that one season?
Yeah.
I'm going Jeudy, guys.
Okay.
I'm going Jeudy. Sutton caught a skosh over half his targets. Again, from par at best quarterbacks. But I'm just gonna for now. It's the beginning of July. So
I ain't hating.
So let's throw this out too, because we didn't really talk about this in quote unquote rehearsal. Albert O. I'm not even going to try his last name. I know I should as a host of a fantasy football podcast. Know how to pronounce it. There we go. Gars all the way. So I apologize to all our listeners.
Good job.
For missing that. But guys, Noah Fant gone frees up 90 targets. That's huge for a tight end, guys. That's really big.
Yep.
Are you guys Albert O? Okay, so you're not getting him as your tight end one, or if you are, tell me now because this is a hot topic. Okay, so
I got to see it first. I have to see it first.
Are you even drafting him as your tight end too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, this goes back to it's probably not a great well, he's a starting tight end, so yeah, absolutely.
He's a starting tight end with Russell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now if it's like an 8-team league or a 10-team league, maybe not. But yeah, if we're in a deep league, 14, 16, absolutely.
Who does 10-team in leagues anymore? I'm Ron Berg. Who does an 18 league? Come on. Come on, get more friends, people. Let's be honest.
I'm trying.
No, not you. You know what I mean.
I am.
All right. 16 team.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, so we addressed that. Are we good on the wide receivers? I feel like you guys crushed that pretty good. Yeah. So let's go to the running backs. So up until, was it last month or was it May? Melvin Gordon was on the team. He was still a free agent. They said he was going to go to the Broncos and all this stuff. I mean, the Ravens, I'm sorry. And then he re-signed because that was all Javonte Williams. People had him in Dynasty. People still have him as like a top 5 running back. I don't, but anyways, so people were sky's the limit on this guy. Now Melvin Gordon is back. So I kind of want to see where you guys are at on him. Like redraft Dynasty, open the box. Let's go.
Well, it definitely hurts Javonte Williams quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all that upside, but I mean, PPR, I mean, Melvin Gordon was a low end running back too. I mean, he had 203 rushing attempts last season. Mm-hmm. Almost got up 1,000 yards off of that.
They both had 203. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But Javonte did have 15 more targets.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because it was Javonte's rookie year, you could see it's 50-50 in carries. You could see, I think, 55-45. Because you got to remember, Melvin's 29. I mean, at some point, the wheels are going to fall off. Let's be honest. I mean, he's still playing at a high level, but at some point, you gotta let the young buck run. I mean, he's 22 years old. you got to let him run.
Tell me
first.
Tell me that when I'm 22.
Exactly.
Let that young buck run.
Let the young buck run. And I saw a stat where he was the most broken tackles per attempt out of anybody in the NFL.
That's
so I mean, you gotta let him run. Like I said, he already had 15 more targets. You gotta let the kid run at some point. They drafted him first, second round. You gotta let the kid run. So
I think let the man go through.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I like that. I'm with you. I was so looking at a breakdown of his rushing attempts. I mean, he started the season strong. First 3 weeks of the season last year, 14, 13, 12 attempts. It dipped down kind of the middle of the season. Then the end of the season, he a game versus Chargers, he ramped it back up. Well, even Dallas, he had 17, had to dip down to 8, then went to 14, 23 attempts versus KC, 15 and 15 back to back, then dipped down to 7, then finished with 14 and 12 attempts. So he had like a stretch in the middle of the season where 5 out of 7 games he had less than 10 attempts. They also lost a lot of those games. So there's some correlation, guys. I heard 1, 2 in those games where he had less than 10 attempts. They lost 4 out of 5. So there you go, NFL.
Wow.
I'm a free agent. Sorry. So
yeah.
No, this guy's great. Are you guys? All right, let's say this in redraft. Are you drafting him in the first round?
I have a hard time doing that, man.
I got him at 18.
Yeah, because even though I'm more of a Javonte fan, let's face it, it's still going to be probably 50, 55, 45. I'm being hopeful 60-40, but yeah, I can't draft him first round. Not a guy that shares that many carries.
I mean, let's say he takes a small step forward. I mean, he was running back 17 last season. Mm-hmm. He's got to put up running back 1 numbers.
That's where I have him. That's where I have him right now. So let's do a little retread from when we talked about rankings earlier. The 3 I have above him are Cam Akers, Zeke, and James Conner. And the 3 I have below him are Antonio Gibson, J.K. Dobbins, and David Montgomery. So tight squeeze, but
I would pick him over Cam Akers. That's just me though.
No, I'm
again. He's coming off a major knee injury. That's yeah. But yeah, everything else I agree.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. Gars?
Yeah, I'm with it.
Who are you with, Gary?
Me, myself, and I.
Are you with Ty or you're with me? It's fine. We're splitting straws, guys. I mean, come on. Again, it's July. So.
No, I like a high-end running back too. I could see him as that for sure. But like choosing him in the first round is a little too much.
Second round?
Yeah, I if it was on the
12 team.
Yeah, 12 team on the end of the second round, I'd do that.
Yeah, if he was your second running back, you love it. If he's your first running back, you're like, I better hope I'm stout everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, yeah. Say you go. Say you have the turn. Say you went like wide receiver, and then he came to you at the end of you've got him at that third turn. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Wait, what are you saying?
You're
saying if you have pick 12 and you go wide receiver, he's not going to end up in the late third round.
Well, if you're the first pick of the third.
Yeah, he'd probably be there.
I mean, just
you're not going to go wide receiver in the first 5 picks. Nobody would probably go wide receiver in the first 5 picks.
No, I'm saying if you had the 12, you had the 112 and the 2-1 in a startup or in a redraft.
And then it's going to go all the way around to pick number 36 in overall draft.
Maybe
in the third round. Like he won't make it there. I don't think.
Well, you have goons.
Goons are there, but goons might also pick them in the first round. Too.
Goons gonna goon. Goons are gonna goon, dude.
Yeah, that's why I say late second round.
Okay. I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm just saying it would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Could have a massive Broncos fan. It's like, oh fuck it, I'm going first round. Okay.
I'd pick if you want to go this way. I'd pick him over any of the wide receivers in this game. But for sure, who wouldn't?
I'm with you, Gary. I agree, 100%.
Yeah. I agree.
What about Melvin? What round in a 12 team where's the earliest you would draft him?
What do you got him ranked? What do you got him ranked? What do you got him ranked?
I feel like I'm down on I feel like I'm probably down on him more down than what I should be. I got him at 30.
Oh my.
34.
My.
33. I'm sorry.
RB 22 last season. Let's say he's like a high end running back 3.
That's where I got him at.
Like in 25, 26.
So I got
no, that's a low end.
I have Devin Singletary above him, Kareem Hunt, Chase Edmonds, Pollard, Kenneth Walker, Miles Sanders.
Yeah, you have him as the low end running back. High end would be like 25, 26, 27.
Okay.
But I mean, that's where I'd probably put him as a high end running back.
So,
which that would make Javonte Williams go down quite a bit to be like a high end running back too, since they're kind of splitting heads.
Yeah,
I'd be happy if Melvin was my third. Like if I had 2, but I'd have to have 2 really good running backs. But yeah, if he was my third, I'd be okay with that. I got flex. Flex, not bad. But definitely as a running back 3, where I only have to use him like one time or twice. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think did we hit everything on the Broncos? Anything else you guys want to talk about there? I think we covered it.
Tim Patrick's the best receiver on this team. Next.
I love it. I love it.
Are you guys calling him a sleeper officially?
Yes. He's been a sleeper for the past 2 years.
I think he can get it done, dude. I don't think he's going to be that's going to be tough for him to be the best, but I love that bold take.
All right, so let me throw this.
I was just kidding.
No, I love it, dude. I mean, he's going to have his days for sure. Trust me, he's going to have his days.
Let's switch gears to Dynasty real quick. What are you offering for Tim Patrick in Dynasty? What round pick? What round rookie pick? Obviously, you'll get him for a first. But
I don't know if I can throw a second. I'd throw a third out there. You can't throw a second out there for Tim Patrick.
Yeah, I agree.
You think he's worth a third round rookie pick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you wouldn't offer a second? Would you trade a second? Would you trade a second if it came to it?
I would.
Early, late, middle. Let's get to the details.
Second, late.
I mean, we got to say you don't know where you're going to be heading when it comes to your second, but I would not trade a future second for him.
Okay.
No. Mm-hmm. But yeah, obviously would take a second for him. I mean, fuck. Oh, sorry. Mm-hmm. I would take a second, but yeah, third. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'd be third. I think I would do a third. I don't know about a second.
Yeah.
I like my seconds. Seconds.
He's definitely 28, man. I mean, got his contract restructured,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he could work. He can gel well with Russell Wilson was one of the greats for sure. I mean, he was in PPR number 42, so it's a wide receiver 4 right now. I mean, and that's without somebody like Russell Wilson coming aboard. So I could see him as like a wide receiver 3.
Yeah,
at best, and I'll pay a third for that.
And KJ Hamler hasn't really stepped up
he was definitely injured a little bit, but
yeah, and he's the 50-50 guy.
Yeah,
he's the 50-50 guy. He I've seen him win jump balls. He's the rebounder on this team.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, guys. Well, we knocked it out. Those are the teams. 4 up, 4 down,
and
we are through 4 divisions. Actually, coincidentally, all for the 4th of July. Ayo.
What?
There it is, guys. That was a great pod.
Is this the most? This is a dumb question. Is this going to be the most competitive division? Like, are the games going to be separated by like 1 or 2 games? I mean, I think I'm asking an obvious question, but
it's going to be
it seems that way, dude.
Like for instance, what I'm saying is like you have one team go 12-5, the next 11-4, the next 11-6, could even be 11-6, 10-7. That's how I look at it. Like it's a 1 or 2 games. Even between first and 4th place might even be separated by 2 or 3 games.
Yep.
It's gonna be tough.
I think that's how small the margin of error is in this division.
Totally, dude. I mean,
so
the rest of my hair is going to fall out, Ty. That's the answer to your question.
Sounds good. Oh boy.
All right, guys, that was a great pod. Let's get out of here. Let's get this 4th of July started early. Bang bang, fireworks,
skeet.
Cold beer.
Here.
Hell yeah.
Cold beer here. Thank you guys for listening. Everybody, enjoy your 4th of July. What division are we gonna do next, Gary?
We are gonna do we just did NFC West last time. Let's do the North. We're gonna go with the NFC North.
NFC North. Okay, can't wait. Talk about the Lions. The Lions.
Oh yeah, Shane's got to be on here for this.
We will get him on here. We will get our guys back. We will regroup our squad and expand so greatly. Guys, for Gary at Gars_Poetica.
Follow me, John Cena.
Follow me, please. For Ty at Social Media Ghost. John Cena already follows him. So anybody else that follows him, you are inferior, not superior. You cannot see him. You can follow me on Twitter at jhicks804. Again, you can follow all of us on Twitter at @thefluke_FF. Go check out www.thefluke.com. Again, my rankings will be posted, and then we'll all have some rankings, and we'll all have a great time. And then what else do we have? That's it, guys. Everybody have a happy, safe 4th of July. Please don't reenact Jason Pierre-Paul for the sake of all things holy. And I think that's it, guys.
Hey, John Cena, please listen to this.
I'm going to hand off this podcast to the viewers, if you will. Good night, everybody.
Go Phils.